Can a swarm of sterile, radiation-treated flies stop parasites that eat living flesh? These nuclear flies are humanity's secret weapon, released by the millions to break the parasite's deadly cycle. This strange, real-life battle is one of science's most surprising victories, and it's far from over. The parasite that eats you alive. Cochleomia hominivirax, the screwworm fly, is no ordinary insect. This tiny metallic blue-green fly with piercing red eyes hides a deadly secret. It's a flesh eater, but not just any flesh. The screwworm's larvae burrow into healthy living tissue, turning the smallest scratch or wound into a feeding ground. This parasite doesn't discriminate. Wildlife, livestock, and even humans can fall victim. Its impact is so devastating that it's often called humanity's natural enemy, a predator that thrives on the vulnerability of living flesh. The horror isn't just in the feeding. The larvae's burrowing causes wounds to grow rapidly, inviting secondary infections and weakening the host. In animals like cattle, sheep, and wild mammals, screwworm infestations have led to massive suffering and economic losses. For humans, the pain is unimaginable, and without treatment, the outcome can be fatal. This tiny fly's life cycle is a nightmare made real, and it's been a silent scourge for centuries. The nightmare we created. How did this parasite become such a widespread threat? The answer lies in human activity. Specifically, the rise of large-scale cattle farming in the United States during the early 20th century. Vast herds grazing on open pastures created the perfect environment for screwworms to thrive. Minor injuries from barbed wire fences, insect bites, or rough terrain became open invitations for female flies to lay their eggs. Traditional pesticides and wound treatments were no match. The larvae live inside the flesh, protected from sprays and chemicals. Ranchers were stuck in a losing battle, constantly treating wounds but never stopping the parasite's spread. The insane idea that changed everything. Faced with this growing crisis, scientists turned to a radical biological solution, the Sterile Insect Technique, or SIT. The idea sounds almost too simple to work. Female screwworm flies mate only once in their lifetime. If you could flood the environment with sterile males, these females would waste their only chance to reproduce. No offspring would be born, and the population would collapse. But how to produce millions of sterile flies? Scientists discovered that exposing male flies to controlled doses of radiation rendered them sterile without affecting their ability to compete for mates. These sterile males were then released into the wild in massive numbers. This approach was revolutionary. Instead of trying to kill larvae hidden inside flesh, it targeted the population's ability to reproduce, building a paradise for parasites. Before launching full-scale eradication, scientists needed to test and perfect the technique. In Florida, they created a parasite paradise, a controlled environment designed to breed screwworms and study their behavior. This lab-made ecosystem allowed researchers to release sterile males and observe the effects on the population. The first major success came on Curacao Island. Repeated releases of sterile males led to the complete eradication of screwworms from the island. This victory proved that SIT could work on a large scale and marked the beginning of a new era in pest control. Following this success, eradication efforts expanded throughout the southern United States and Central America. The timeline of progress showed steady declines in screwworm populations, offering hope to farmers and conservationists. Welcome to the nuclear maggot factory. To meet the enormous demand for sterile flies, a massive production facility was built in Texas, often called the nuclear maggot factory. This bizarre but brilliant factory produces around 150 million sterile flies every week. Raising these flies is a delicate process. Larvae are fed on protein-rich meat slurries that mimic living tissue, ensuring they develop healthily before irradiation. The factory simulates the conditions of living flesh to keep the larvae alive and vigorous. Shipping millions of flies presents its challenges. The crates used to transport larvae and pupae emit a strong, unpleasant odor. To keep workers and nearby residents comfortable, the crates are sprayed with cologne to mask the smell, a strange but necessary step in this large-scale biological operation. A war fought from the sky. The sterile flies don't spread themselves. Planes equipped for biological warfare fly over jungles, deserts, and farmland, releasing sterile males in precise grid patterns spaced about 1.6 kilometers apart. This ensures even coverage and maximizes the chances that wild females will mate with sterile males. On the ground, surveillance teams patrol livestock areas, inspecting animals for fresh wounds and signs of reinfestation. These teams act as early warning systems, catching outbreaks before they can spread. This aerial strategy transforms the landscape into a battlefield where biology and technology combine. It's a unique war fought with flies, radiation, and careful planning, a testament to human creativity in the face of a deadly natural threat. When the wall fails. Despite decades of success, the war against screwworms is ongoing and fragile. In 2016, a sudden outbreak in the Florida Keys reminded experts how quickly these parasites can return. The sterile fly releases were ramped up, and the outbreak was contained. But the event sent shockwaves through the scientific community. More recently, in 2023, the Panama sterile fly barrier, a critical defensive line preventing screwworms from spreading into North America, was breached. The flies spread into Costa Rica and parts of Mexico, sparking a new biological emergency. The Texas factory increased production to full capacity, releasing even more sterile flies to contain the outbreak. But this breach exposed the vulnerability of the system and the constant need for vigilance. Nature adapts, and so must we. A war we can never stop fighting. The screwworm story is a powerful reminder that some battles with nature never truly end. This tiny fly, a natural enemy of humanity, demands ongoing attention and innovation. Yet, it also highlights the incredible power of human ingenuity. What once seemed like an insane idea, releasing sterile flies to stop a parasite, became one of the greatest biological control successes in history. As we look to the future, staying alert, investing in science, and embracing creative solutions will be essential. Because in this war, giving up is not an option. What do you think? Could the sterile insect technique be the key to controlling other pests threatening our food and health? How else might we use nature's tricks to solve our biggest problems? The battle against the screwworm is far from over, and your curiosity might just spark the next breakthrough. As we continue this never-ending fight, consider this. What other hidden threats around us could be defeated by thinking outside the box? If this video opened your eyes to the power of human ingenuity, share your thoughts below. Like the video and subscribe for more fascinating journeys into the unexpected battles shaping our world. Thanks for watching.